What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we got a special horror movie haul from Unearthed Films. That's right. They sent us out a package, a care package of some messed up goodies to check out, and I can't wait to talk about some of these. We'll be doing reviews for them in the future, so let's check them out now. So quick funny story, MVD Entertainment does distribution for Unearthed, and they do kind of like, they help put out the releases and everything like that. They even do some of the packaging on a lot of their releases, and Unearthed actually put out the sequel to August Underground, which I had done the previous August Underground review, had zero problems on YouTube of putting that one up. But as soon as I did Mortem, man, they were not happy with my video. And so I went online and I actually was kind of complaining about it a little bit, which, you know, I actually follow the guy who runs Unearthed, Stephen Biro, on Facebook. And he happened to see it, and then we got to chatting, and he said, I'm sending out a care package full of some fucked up goodies. And so I'm really excited to talk about a lot of these. I have not watched any of these. Some of these I've seen in the past. Most of these I have not. So we're going to go through each one of these. You can look out for these on the YouTube channel. We're going to talk about them in the future. So let's get into it. First up, we got Calamity of Snakes. Now, I'm pretty sure this is a Hong Kong film that came out, but it is a wild movie about fucking snakes that has not seen a good copy. This has needed a transfer for a long time, and finally we got one. Unearthed just put this out. It's called an Unearthed Classic. So I guess that's what they're calling these ones in particular. They have like a different one for each, but it's essentially about a developer that discovers a snake pit full of 1,000 deadly serpents on the construction site of a new apartment building. And to avoid any construction delays, the developer brutally exterminates the snakes. Believing that the problem has been solved, he allows the new tenants to move into the building. However, not all the snakes have been killed, and the many survivors and their kin are out to avenge their murdered brothers and sisters. Soon, all hell breaks loose, and the building's new tenants come under vicious attack by a squirming army of angry and vengeful serpents, spiritual or otherwise. I'm not really sure. But yeah, this is one I am looking forward to checking out because I love wild shit like this. This is just weird. I have another movie called The Devil that I need to review. I haven't done it in a long time, but that one's about worms. So maybe I'll do them back to back and watch them or something like that. But yeah, so I'm really kind of curious to talk about this, and maybe, I don't know, maybe I might do a podcast of it. We'll see, but I think I should do it on the YouTube because it is a newer one. This one just came out a couple months ago. So I was wanting to pick this up, but I got it sent to me. So yeah, have you seen this movie? Be curious to see what you think of it, and let me know how soon I should be watching and reviewing this. Up next, woo, we got a doozy here, guys. This is Dr. Lamb, which is another Unearthed classic, and this one is definitely not for just anyone, okay? This one is a fucked up film. There is a lot of the R in there, you know what I'm talking about. It's a taxi driver by day, killer by night, which I've never actually seen this one. Heard all about it, and I know what to expect. There is a lot of sexual stuff in this one. Dr. Lamb is not such a nice guy. He chops up women and does some pretty disturbing things to them. Essentially, it's about a mentally disturbed taxi driver that lusts for blood every night, and several young women are brutally murdered. He likes to take the photos of the victims' dismembered bodies as his special mementos after sex with their and stores their severed parts in pickle jars. Inspector Lee and his team are called onto the case in this bizarre, nasty, notorious Hong Kong Cat 3. That means the highest level of category that you can think of from Hong Kong. I don't think we'll be seeing movies like this from Hong Kong in the near future. Yeah, there was an era where they were doing a lot of these wild fucking films. Definitely not always for everybody. But I am looking forward to seeing this. I do like Hong Kong films, and I'll watch from the, 3 all the way down to just weird as fuck. We even do a segment on the podcast called Weird as Fuck Wonders. If they're so bizarre that they just don't make any sense or just wild and fun, where they fall into the weird as fuck wonders. This is definitely a little bit more on the depraved side. So, but I am going to check it out and tell you all about it later. Up next, this is a classic, Premutos. This is another Unearthed classic. This is the 2-disc extended director's cut. Which, if you've never heard of this film, this is the Olaf Ittenbach film that he did all the violent shit series, and he was doing some of the most depraved things in Germany, because there was a time there where they weren't allowed to watch certain films. Like, they weren't allowed to import movies like Evil Dead or anything that was of graphic nature. So people like Olaf and like people who did Necromantic decided to make their own movies, and he started off doing it on his own, like a VHS sort of shot on video style, with some pretty impressive fucking gore and some pretty crazy shit. There's the cover. This one, I don't know why they always show that one thing, but this is essentially about a kid who finds a sword in his backyard that has a history, and he sort of raises like the angel of death, the fallen angel, Satan, I guess, and it has some pretty fucking amazing, terrible fucking English dubbing that I refuse to watch this movie in subtitles. Although I wonder if the director's cut has like an English language over it, so I might have to. This one is pretty cool because it's a 2-disc special edition. It features the original version with English dub and the original German language one. So it has the making of Premutos, Olaf Ittenbach's the early years, photo gallery trailers, and the soundtrack CD, which is fantastic. But yeah, this is the Blu-ray. The English dub is fucking hilarious. It's going to be hard to watch this in Germany because like the way they talk in this movie is just so ridiculous. There's a scene in the movie where a bunch of villagers are coming to this scientist's house who's been doing some unholy things in his basement, which literally is some broken down house basement. But they put this wooden door up, and all these villagers come, and they're like with their torches, and they're like, hey, open up, buddy. What are you doing in there? Hey, we don't like doors that are closed. The people who did the sound, like the voice dubbing for the English, it's the most ridiculous thing fucking ever. And I think he did another movie that was called Zombie 90 Extreme Pestilence, which has even crazier dubbing than this one. But this is one of those two. A lot of fun, a lot of gore. I haven't seen it in a while, so I'll be doing this as a review on here, go over all the ingredients and everything, and see what the differences are between the German and the English dub. I have a DVD, but this one's going to be way better. But yeah, thanks. I'm glad I have this now. Up next, we got Old Man, the Old Man movie, which this is like a claymation movie that I have never seen, but man, does it look pretty impressive as far as like claymation goes. Like they do a really good job of it. I've been a fan of like claymation since I was a child. I actually really like the art of it. And there was a movie that came out recently called Mad God that did some really dark work. But I like just claymation shit in general. This is one that Stephen Biro always talks about. He always uses the like picture of this guy and his thing. It's a weird story. It says the milkocalypse is upon us. A remote Estonia village, 3 children from the city are forced to spend the summer on their grandfather's farm when the trio accidentally sets loose the old man's prized but thoroughly abused cow. They leave and they have only 24 hours to milk the rogue bovine before its exponentially expanding udders explode and unleash a milkocalypse. A milkpocopolis. I don't even know how to say that. To complicate this crisis, a decrepit and disgraced farmer with a body literally infused with milk and prejudice for cattle, is also determined to catch the animal, but with murderous intent. There's a lot of crazy stuff in here. I'll show you a little bit of the back so you can kind of get a little bit of an idea. I don't know what that thing is on the top. I guess that's a mad bovine. I've never seen this. I was not going to buy it just on a blind buy, but I am super glad to have it now, and I'll tell you what I think of it. So maybe you, who might not want to pick this one up, might purchase it too. So we'll see how it goes. Up next, we got The Sound of Summer. Now, I actually did a review of this MVD. He didn't know when he sent this to me because he just kind of surprised me with all this stuff. Yeah, I actually did a review of this on the YouTube channel. So maybe I'll do either a podcast episode and maybe, I don't know if he'll let me do this, but I might just give this away as a copy to some lucky person. This is a Japanese story about a guy from England, actually, who is the director anyway. He decided to write this story about these cicada, which, you know, those are those things that come out right before summer. They make the loud noises and they just kind of like are so loud, and they're always like screeching on trees and shit like that. Well, the locust, cicada or whatever come out in Japan just like they do out here. And this guy decided to make a weird, fucked up story about this man who sort of collects them. He has since he was a child. Very indie, but there is a lot of interesting stuff that they do in this movie. So I actually kind of like this one. I didn't get like the highest score, but if you're an indie fan and you like body horror, this is actually pretty fucking cool. Like, they do a lot of stuff with cicadas. It is a lot of homegrown potential. If you want to check that review out, you can. But have you seen this movie? If you have, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Up next is, last but not least, this is one that Unearthed Films actually put together, so they actually, their own version of this. 2014 is when it says this came out, so 2013, 2014, they kind of put this one out. This is Bouquet of Guts and Gore, the American Guinea Pig series here. So this is a movie that is based on the Japanese Guinea Pig series, but American style. So this is the actual 3-disc limited edition version, which I think this is DVD, by the way. But it comes with a lot. And if you've ever seen the Japanese Guinea Pig series, it was basically made by some special effects guys who wanted to kind of show their talents as an effects reel sort of thing. And they started turning it into like a sort of like a series, which Unearthed actually sold for a time. The rights of it are a little bit tied up right now. And then they started doing their own, which is the Guinea Pig series. Now this one is, it says, Japan's darkest secret has become America's newest nightmare. Now, this has a story about two women. It's about a 73-minute story, by the way. Two women are abducted by a group of snuff filmmakers and brought into a hellish nightmare of unmistakable brutality, viciousness, and destruction that will leave every viewer shocked, amazed, and awestruck. It says a love letter to ultra gore hounds the world over. The American Guinea Pig series is about to begin. And boy, I'd show you the back, but looks like some eye-cutting stuff, some jaw-ripping, some dismemberment, and just a lot of crazy shit. But this has a ton of stuff on it. Quite a few commentaries, a making of, special effects behind the scenes, pre-production. Jim Van Bieber actually did the interviews in some of these, which is interesting because he's also a filmmaker. This is actually directed by Stephen Biro. So the guy who does, you know, Unearthed Films actually made this film, so I'm pretty curious to see it. But Jim Van Bieber is a guy who we did on the podcast, which he did Deadbeat at Dawn and The Manson Family and Perdition Temple, Chambers of Predation music video. And we got Perdition Temple, which is their Chambers of Predation, which is a music video and a trailer. So this is jam-packed full of stuff on here. Definitely curious to see this one. This one's been actually talked about for quite a while. I don't know. I was a little nervous about watching this one. I don't know why. I think I was just going through a different mode at the time when I was watching that. But now that I'm in the groove and doing all the Unearthed stuff, yeah, I might as well watch this one. I expect it to be pretty balls to the wall and pretty grotesque. So yeah, love to let me know what I might be in for a little bit. I've seen some of the trailers. I've seen some of the footage. footage, it's going to be hard to really show anything about this one. So yeah, let me know what you think about this one. But yeah, that's everything that we got here. Thank you so much for sending all these out. I greatly appreciate it. That's super cool of you, man. I promise to do my due diligence of going through all of these fucked up films. He went easy on me, I think, actually, because of what Unearthed has. They don't just do shocking video. You know, they have stuff from the 80s that have been lost. There's stuff that he's just trying to do the treatment on, to try to have a wide swath of different films in his catalog. They're doing a lot, and so they've been growing pretty fast. You might like some of the stuff that you see on the website. Even if it isn't the shock stuff that you like, give it a whirl and look anyway, because there is a lot more titles on there that you might like, you know, and they all kind of tell you a little bit about it. So I think you'll be able to determine which ones are which. Thanks again, Steven. Appreciate the support from Unearthed. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button and the little bell icon to let you know when I got a new video out. Thanks for sticking to the end, and as always, long live the void.